Now, if you're a Mortal Kombat player or really just a fighting game player in general, I'm sure that you already know that Mortal Kombat 1 has nothing but negative controversy surrounding it. I mean, anytime you see it in the media, it's usually something bad, usually something negative. On YouTube, it's nothing but these doom and gloom videos like Mortal Kombat 1 is dying, like this one right here. No hate to this dude, but like absolute garbage, right? Like it's literally just this type of content and articles being written about this game. And it's kind of hard to argue a lot of the things that people have to say about this game. I want to go ahead and say that this is not going to be one of those videos. I'm not about to spend like 10 minutes just hating on this game and shitting on this game, because it actually has a lot of positive qualities and redeeming qualities. What I do want to do is basically just have an open discussion and explain why this game is being surrounded with so much negative press and controversy. And I think it really just comes down to one simple thing. I think the biggest issue in Mortal Kombat 1 is that the game just doesn't deliver. And it's just not a complete package. And the biggest thorn in this game's side is that it's naturally going to get compared to the other titans of fighting games, right? So it's going to get compared to Street Fighter 6. It's going to get compared to Tekken 8. And Tekken 8 releasing when it did is probably the worst thing that could have happened to Mortal Kombat 1. But these games make up for the mistakes that you have to deal with in Mortal Kombat 1, I feel like. And it's just not good for MK right now. When you look at Street Fighter 6, right, you had the World Tour mode if you wanted to play single player. When you look at Tekken 8, you have the Arcade Quest mode, and both of these modes are very engaging and very like in-depth. They're fun, right? Comparing that to Invasions is ridiculous. Invasions is like one of the main things in MK1 that I think needs a complete overhaul. They need to literally go back to the drawing board with Invasions, because it is literally pointless. If you are a top level player, especially, you have no reason to play Invasions. I heard Rewind say he's literally never played it because it's pointless. The rewards don't really make up for how lackluster the mode is. It is essentially just doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? Like you step on a tile, you fight someone, you step on a tile, you fight someone, you find an object to unlock a gate, you fight a boss, and then you go to the next mesa and you do the same thing over and over again. It's so boring. This is especially disheartening when you consider the fact that Mortal Kombat is the same franchise that had chess combat, puzzle combat, motor combat, conquest mode, test your luck. We don't even have a way to consistently play test your might in MK1. If there was just a tower that was nothing but test your mights that got harder and harder and harder and harder, that would be amazing. We have the challenge tower in MK9, like, we really need something like that. Something that is just lighthearted fun, right? To just play. Kind of like Tekken Ball. Like Tekken Ball, no one's going to take Tekken Ball serious. Let's be completely honest. Having something like that to play in this game would be amazing. But it's really all about which one would fit. Like, I don't know if motor combat would really work in this game. I think chess combat could. But bringing back something like that would be a step in the right direction. It still amazes me how we went from the intricate single player experience that was MK11's Crypt to just having a shrine that you just press one button on and you unlock everything. Like, I was genuinely blown away when I realized in the first season that you can buy everything in the shrine. And now every season that comes out, you unlock a couple of items and the shrine is completely empty and you have to wait until the next season. It's so stupid. They've had great single player content, even great content kind of like Motor Combat and stuff that's not necessarily single player, like you can still play it with other people. And this game, all it has to offer is Invasions. That is literally it. That is ridiculous. So that is another big problem with this game. We need some great content outside of just player versus player, and even some player versus player that's lighthearted. Like, hell, Test Your Luck would fit great in MK1. You just throw the modifiers from Invasions in the regular game and just let people fight. We just need something like that to keep people engaged that aren't really interested in fighting other players. Another big issue with MK1 actually has nothing to do with the game itself. It's the community, right? The casual community is really like the biggest problem, I would say. But the community just doesn't make it any better. Whether it be people complaining about things that actually aren't problems, to like content creators making these videos like, oh, this game is trash, this game is dying, this game is horrible, it's the end of time, it's Armageddon, right? It's not making the situation any better. You have creators like Super, creators like Waz, creators like Mike Trelinsky, Destroyer, Ketchup and Mustard, who despite all these problems, they just push through, right? And they just deal with it, and they'll all acknowledge the game has problems. I mean, I've heard all of those guys acknowledge that the game has issues and acknowledge that it needs to be improved, but they're not making these videos like it's the end of days, the end times are coming, because MK1 has a simple problem that just needs to be fixed. And the community is so quick to just jump on everything that happens. Like when we saw the skins in the store for the first time, when they were ridiculously priced, man, everybody hated this game. Even people who weren't playing this game were saying it was trash, and they don't even play. So if we're going to, fix all the issues, we have to fix the issues outside of the game as well. We literally have content creators in our community that make it their mission to hate on this game. Honestly, they just go out of their way to only nitpick the negative shit, right? Like when Chameleon came out, I don't see a bunch of videos praising how amazing Chameleon is, right? Outside of like players who are like top level using the character, right? I don't see these same people who constantly hate on this game uploading videos giving the game props for actually doing something good. And I think that's a step in the right direction as well, is just having a better mentality when it comes to the game, having an open mind. When something bad happens, call them out. When something good happens, give them props for it. That's all I'm saying. That's a change that we need to see. I also want to point out that if one of your criticisms is very clearly a personal problem, keep it to yourself. Saying MK1 is trash because of the cameo system, no, you might just be bad at the game, like genuinely. I know that sounds stupid, like, oh, I'm mad because bad, but it's actually true in the situation. Saying that MK1 sucks because people can use cameos makes no sense, because you can use the same cameos. If you're getting destroyed by people that are using a cameo, right, you can use a cameo to counter that cameo most times, right? So saying that the game sucks for one specific thing that you struggle with is not a valid critique, and it's not a valid argument. I'll give a great example. I saw a post on Reddit of a guy saying that Kung Lao cameo ruins the game because of low hat. I don't know if he realizes this, but the low hat is actually a projectile. So if you were to use Sub-Zero cameo, you would probably have less issues with the Kung Lao hat. Now, that's not going to completely neutralize it, of course. You got to have a brain when playing against somebody that's using a good character and a good cameo, right? But it will actually mitigate your problems by a significant amount by just using a cameo that counters that cameo. That's the purpose of the cameo system, right? It's not just to elevate your character, but it's also to counter the other player in some way. So if you're getting spammed at with low hats, use Sub-Zero cameo with a character that can also counter zone, and there you go. That's the problem though, right? When you ask people to apply more skill and more brain power to something, then it becomes an issue, right? Like nobody wants to sit there and have to be like, oh, you're using this character and this cameo. Well, this is how I'm going to counter it. They just want to play their game, right? They just want to get off work and play their game and just relax. And I understand that, but that is not how this is going to work. I mean, if you're going to play MK1 with that attitude, then you shouldn't care when you lose. If you're losing all the time and you're complaining all the time, you clearly care at a higher degree. So you should improve. You should care about improving. If you care enough to complain that you're losing, you should care enough to get better. And to get better, you gotta learn to counter these cameos. You gotta learn to counter these obnoxious characters like Johnny Cage, right? You gotta learn to get around that. That's how you're gonna learn to love this game. The moral of the story is this game is without its problems, but this is the game we got. Whether the game gets better in the future or not, which I'm confident it will, remains to be seen. But all of this like doomsday uploading on YouTube and making all these videos like, woe is me, this game is terrible, the game's dead, is not making it better. Like most people can pick up the sticks, play Mortal Kombat 1 for a day and figure out all of the issues that I've said in this video, right? But just making it your mission to absolutely hate on and shit on this game and kick it while it's down is going to make sure that it stays down, is the point that I'm making. Whether you agree or disagree with me doesn't really matter. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to leave a like, maybe even subscribe. I love talking about Mortal Kombat. I love playing Mortal Kombat, so you can expect there will be more Mortal Kombat content on this channel. And comment your disagreements, comment your agreements down below. And yeah, that's it for me. Peace.